Well, welcome to the retreat at Church Creek. I wish you were here in person for this, but I wanted to take just a few minutes to show you around this incredible property here in beautiful Charleston, South Carolina, that's helping pastors and ministry leaders live well and finish strong. Now, we're hoping you might be inspired to partner with us on an exciting project that we've just launched. Back in January 2021, in the midst of a pandemic and a growing mental health crisis amongst pastors, we purchased these 66 acres on the water, and believe it or not, we ran the first retreat in April, just 3 months later. And the team has been running ever since. In just these first few years of operation, we've served over 1,400 leaders through retreats here, with more than 1,200 of them being men and women who are pastoring churches. Demand is through the roof. In fact, in 2023, we've hosted over 50 retreats in a single year for the first time. And we've got many guests coming back and bringing friends with them because of the impact that it's had on their own lives. People have been so generous, donating equipment from fishing boats to golf simulators and gym equipment. Others have donated towards our scholarship fund. In fact, this year alone, we're on track to raise 1,000 scholarships, $1.5 million to provide much needed soul care, rest, and intentional community free of charge. 44% of the men and women who attend our pastors' retreats are at major risk of burnout and have seriously considered quitting or changing careers in the last year, according to our anonymous guest surveys. And yet 50% of them describe their experience here as life-changing. Another 46% call it very helpful, which is so encouraging to see. The property, its peace and its beauty, iconic views of the marsh, or just taking a walk under live oaks draped in Spanish moss. It helps pastors rest, relate, and renew, but we do have a problem, and I'm hoping you can help. This house was built as a single family home, and I'm sure when they built it, they didn't have back-to-back retreats in mind, and it's really limiting our ability to sustainably serve more pastors. So we've been working with architects and engineers to plan a major renovation of the house that'll include a full commercial kitchen. We're often catering for as many as 25 people, including guests and our team here. We need to do upgrades to the HVAC so that the house is comfortable even in the midst of the Charleston summer. We're going to be adding bathrooms and bedrooms in some of our underutilized spaces and a walk-in fridge and freezer. Upgrade our septic, do ADA upgrades to make sure we're up to code for our guests with disabilities. Much needed repairs around the house to things like windows and floors, and just overall a refresh of this amazing home in an upscale, low country coastal style without losing its charm. Of course, all of this is subject to getting the necessary permits and raising the needed funds, but these upgrades and more will have a huge ministry impact for us. For instance, we'll be able to increase our sleeping capacity by 20% while dramatically improving our guest experience in a ton of tangible ways. It'll enable us to save money on things like cooking and bulk buying our food. It'll make it more practical for us to sustainably host back-to-back retreats and potentially help us serve as many pastors in 2024 alone as we've been able to serve in our first 3 years combined, all while closing the retreat for a few months to complete renovations. I believe one of the most leveraged investments that we can make with our generosity is to invest in caring for pastors and leaders who impact the lives and communities of so many. Pastor Greg, our founder, often says that pastors need to be well so that they can build well. I love the story of the Shunammite woman in 2 Kings chapter 4 who made room for God in her life. The prophet Elisha would stop by for a meal, and in time they literally made a room for him, place for him to stay, to rest and restore, and to eat at their table. And what started as an act of generosity and hospitality actually turned into an unexpected miracle in her own life. She conceived a child she didn't even dare to believe for. I believe as we make room for men and women of God in places like this to rest and renew, we're also believing for miracles in your own life too. So we're launching a capital campaign, and I wonder, would you consider joining us in making room? We're believing to raise $750,000 to get this done, and every single gift makes a difference. And there are a number of ways that you can give specifically toward this campaign, and the details are on the screen now. Really our goal for the Pastors Collective is to serve 10,000 pastors in the next 5 years. And with your help, this renovation will help us take a huge step toward that goal. So we are so excited about the difference that we could make together.